Welcome to Too Fond of Books. I'm Janelle, and this is the Booktube Newbie Tag. So, question number 1, why did you start this channel? Well, the reason I started this channel is because I love books, and I love reading, and I love talking about books. Now, my husband and I are book hoarders. We totally are. So I'm going to insert some video here of our hoard of books, and we are unashamed of it. We're pretty minimalist in everything else, but books. And so we, for a number of years now, have done what we call book extravaganza. At Christmas time, we don't get each other gifts, and what we ask from family is gift cards to bookstores. And so we will hoard all that stuff up and then go on a book extravaganza and buy a whole bunch of books at Christmas. We love to do that. We also celebrate World Book Day every year, and we go to the library for the afternoon, we go out for supper, and then we browse around chapters in the evening. It's so great. This past summer we went on a book odyssey, we called it, which was in our vacation over the summer. We drove around our province and we visited libraries and bookstores, and it was a complete bookish holiday. We listened to books on tape as we drove, and it was so much fun. So I started this channel because I love to talk about books. Question number 2, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to YouTube? I think one of the fun or unique things about my channel is that I seem to read books that are a little bit different, possibly to what other people are reading, so I can bring the fact that I'll be talking about different books than may get talked about. Question number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? And what I'm really excited for is the interaction with other people who also love reading and who also love books. Because this turns reading from a solitary experience into a conversation, and that's really exciting. Question number 4, why do you love reading? I had such a hard time with this question because everybody has the same answer, and I was trying to find possibly something that was different about why I love reading, but the fact is I love reading for the same reason that all you guys do. I love being transported to another time and place. I love escaping into another world, and that's why I love reading. I just love it. Question number 5, what book or series got you into reading? And now I can't remember any one specific book or series. However, I absolutely loved Richard Scarry when I was a child. Lowly and his apple car are so adorable. I also really loved Winnie the Pooh when I was young, but as I got a little bit older and started reading chapter books and stuff, I remember that I devoured Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I loved Anne of Green Gables. I just pretty much loved everything. Question number 6, what question would you ask your favorite booktuber? I decided to open this right out, and this is the question that I would ask anybody on Booktube, even if they don't have a channel. I would ask every booktuber to share 5 of their favorite books. I think it's just such a great way to get to know people and to learn about their book tastes. So that's what I would ask anybody on Booktube, is what are 5 of your favorite books? I wouldn't ask people what are their 5 favorite books, because that is such a hard question. But what are 5 of your favorite books? Question number 7. What challenge do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And I'm not sure I have a great answer for this. I was a little bit worried about editing and doing fancy things, but that's not really necessary. And I discovered that editing, simple editing, is actually pretty easy. So yeah. Question number 8. When did you start reading? Well, I grew up in a reading family. My parents read to us. So I started reading quite young, I think. I remember my parents always read to us every day before bed. They would read to us. And when we went camping every summer, and my mom would read to us the Narnia books around the campfire when we were camping. It was so great. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, such good books. Number 9, where do you read? I read everywhere. I read in bed before I go to sleep. I read in, I've got a comfy chair in the living room, and I've got a comfy spot on the sofa. I read anywhere. I always have a book with me. I have what I call my emergency book that is always in my bag. It's a book of short stories, and I'll read that. If I forget to bring a book with me when I'm going out and I have to wait in line at the grocery store or something, I'll bring out my emergency book. So I'll read everywhere. And then question 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? And here again, I think I have a pretty wide variety of books that I like to read, but my absolute favorite type of book are mysteries. Now, I love Agatha Christie. I'm sure you're aware if you've watched my other videos. I love Agatha Christie. She's my favorite author. So here's an example. This is After the Funeral, and this is a great edition of Murder on the Orient Express. So I love Agatha Christie. But I also really love the Golden Age, other Golden Age mystery books and writers. So here's a few examples. This is Carter Dickson and the Red Widow Murders. Edmund Crispin, The Case of the Gilded Fly. And J.S. Fletcher, The Middle Temple Murders. So I really love Golden Age mysteries. I also absolutely love historical mysteries. Like, if you had to nail me down, I would probably say historical mystery is my top genre, the one that I absolutely love. So here's a series. This book is called Blind Justice, and the series is a Sir John Fielding mystery. These are set in 1768, and they are about Sir John Fielding, who is a real person. He was a magistrate in at the Bow Street Court in London, and he's the one who started the Bow Street Runners. And what was interesting about him is he was blind. They called him the Blind Beak, which isn't great, but this is a great series of books. I also love this series, C.S. Harris's Sebastian St. Cyr mysteries. These ones are set in this first one is 1811, and I really love this mystery series. I also quite like P.B. Ryan's Gilded Age mysteries. These are set in New York, in Boston, 1868, and the main character here is an Irish immigrant called Nell Sweeney, and I think there's 6 in this series, and these are really good as well. And then finally, I haven't read this whole series yet because it's hard to get a hold of these ones, but P.F. Chisholm's Sir Robert Carey mysteries, and these are set in 1592 up in the borderlands between England and Scotland, and these ones are really great as well. So I love historical mysteries. But I also quite like classics. I am currently rereading Barchester Towers, Anthony Trollope. I really like Anthony Trollope and I need to read more of his works. I really want to read some of his standalone novels that I haven't read. And I'm also in the middle of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and this is again a reread. I love Jane Eyre and I like Charlotte Bronte. But I also really enjoy some nonfiction as well. I really like true crime, but I like historical true crime that talks about other things than just the case. So this is a great example. This book is called Fingerprints by Colin Beavan. The origins of crime detection and the murder case that launched forensic science. So these are the kind of true crime books that I really like that. I also love history, books about history. This is The Time Traveler's Guide to Elizabethan England by Ian Mortimer. I really like Ian Mortimer and his time traveler guides are really fun. I also like books about books or books about literature. This is What Matters in Jane Austen, 20 Crucial Puzzles Solved by John Mullan. And this is a really good book that delves into not Christie, that delves into Jane Austen and her writing and why she's so brilliant. So those are just some examples of the types of books that I like to read, and this has been the Booktube Newbie Tag. See you soon.